Suspect Goats, the TSA Gloats, New Year's Anecdotes. Let's talk about some news.
What's up, everyone? My name is Akshat.
And my name is Vineet. In this podcast, we'll provide you with some entertaining stories to lighten up your day.
So sit back, stand up, lay down, take a bow as we share some news.
Yo, Akshat, what is going on?
Yo, how's it going?
It is going well. Can you believe we're already on our last podcast for the year? I mean, granted, this is like our fourth podcast ever, but last podcast for the year.
Yeah, like time has flown by. You know, it feels like the year just started and it's almost over. But like you said, it's only the fourth episode, so for us, it did technically just start.
Yep. All right, cool. So I have some pretty interesting headlines for you. Actually, when we started thinking about this podcast, I read a story and I thought it was like the funniest thing ever. Mm-hmm. So even though it's kind of old, I love it, and I'm definitely going to be sharing that one first. So,
yeah, I think this is definitely like one of the stories that I remember you telling me about, like just the title in the past. Yeah. Because when we were first thinking of starting the podcast, like this, I think also combined with the story that I did in the first episode. Mm-hmm. Those two were probably like the inspiration for us trying to go into the podcast. So really excited to finally hit the story now, hit the ground running. I can't wait to hear more about it.
All right, cool. So I got three awesome headlines. We're going to start off with my favorite one. They say save the best for last, but I don't care. I'm having dessert first. All right. So, headline, goat accused of robbery. Now, when you first hear that, what do you think? What do you think happened?
I think that the goat, I don't know, like walked into like a convenience store and like stole a bag of food or something and just walked out.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like that.
Fair enough. You'd think the goat, like, I don't know, maybe even went into like a different farm and started eating the crops there or something along those lines, or like took something home or something like that. But no, not at all. Here, I'll start off with the first sentence. Police in Nigeria are holding a goat on suspicion of attempted armed robbery.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Armed robbery?
Armed robbery. So now, okay, we first imagined a goat stealing from like a store or something, but now it's armed.
But it doesn't have arms.
I don't know.
How can it be armed robbery if it doesn't have arms?
I guess we have to redefine.
How is it holding the weapon?
I don't even know. But it gets better. Okay. So now again, this goat is suspected of armed robbery, attempted armed robbery. So this goat, by the way, was seized by vigilantes. So the next sentence goes on to say, vigilantes seized the black and white goat, saying it was an armed robber who used black magic to transform himself into an animal to escape after trying to steal a Mazda 323. Now, I know that's quite a lot to unpack.
I have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
One, how do they know that this is... putting aside the fact that, let's assume black magic is real.
Okay.
And that somebody can transform themselves into animals.
Yeah.
How do they know that this goat is the one they're looking for?
That's true. This goat could have easily just ran and like blended himself in with other goats if they were like near
this
a
could
farm
just
or
be
something.
an innocent bystander goat. The
That's
second question I have is, how do they know he turned into a goat and not some other animal? Like, if I was trying to run away, I would just turn into like, I don't know, like a little ant and just like walk away.
That's a good point. Maybe the black magic is limited to certain animals.
So it's like you get when you practice black magic, you get assigned like a spirit animal that you can only transform into the one that you're assigned. So it'd be a very useless power if like I got assigned like a great like blue whale. Like I can't transform into that at any time. It'd be very useless for me.
That's true, but like let's say you were on the water, suddenly people are drowning. You transform into the whale.
I'm pretty sure I would kill them faster if I did that. I'm pretty sure I would not be able to help them in any sense.
Fair. Well, the point is you get assigned an animal for black magic. That's what we're going with. That's our story.
Okay.
And the weird thing is they're trying to steal a Mazda 323. And I feel like
that's
it's
the
very,
weird thing. That's the weird thing out of this whole story.
Yeah, pretty much the entire thing. The armed robber goat, black magic, transforming himself. That's all normal stuff. But stealing a Mazda is where I draw the line at weird. So, a spokesman for the police in the eastern state of Kawara said, "The goat is in our custody." So, of course, the goat has now been captured.
Mm-hmm.
And the vigilantes saw some hoodlums attempting to rob a car.
Mm-hmm.
One escaped while the other turned into a goat. And that's how we can confirm.
But how do they know he turned into a goat? They didn't see it actually happen.
They saw the other one turn into a goat, right? They're like, okay, one guy escaped, but the other guy... So
they saw the transformation happening?
I'm thinking these vigilantes...
I feel like that's the bigger news then. If you just saw someone transform from a human into a goat, forget the attempted armed robbery. That's the story. That's the breaking news right there.
I guess that's a fair
that there's shapeshifters in the world. That people can just transform themselves into animals.
That's a good point. So a lot of stuff happening in this story. That's it. It was literally these 4 sentences. But a lot has happened in those 4 sentences. And I feel like every time you kind of go through another sentence, there's always a lot more added to the story. Whether, the goat is first accused of robbery, then suspected of attempted armed robbery, then transformation using black magic. It's all over the place. And then, of course, he transformed. This was actually a scene event that vigilantes saw this. And that's how they captured the goat.
So what happened to the goat? Is he still in custody? Did he get made into like biryani? I don't know what happened to him.
That's a good question. I have no idea what happened to the goat. Maybe one day I can find a follow-up and do a follow-up story.
Like a follow-up of what happened.
But I have no idea what happened to the goat. I'm hoping the goat is innocent and the vigilantes just, I don't know, saw a random goat. Maybe the man hid behind a rock and there was a goat there and that goat walked forward.
Well, that was a transformation. My guess was that he just like ran behind like an alley or like around a corner, and then they saw a goat come out of that same alley or corner, and they're like, "Oh, that's the guy right there."
That's the logical reasoning.
Like no other goes behind it. No other explanation. We're not even gonna check around the corner in the alley. That's the guy. It's just that's it.
It's him. No trial needed. That's the one. Goat can't really say anything for itself.
Are we even gonna look around the corner? No. We don't need to. We got him. He's right here.
You know what I also just realized?
Man went in, goat came out. Boom.
What I also realized is the police arrested the goat.
Yeah, they believed it. They said, yeah, it makes complete sense, logical sense. You're telling us this goat is a former human? Yeah, we believe you. Let's take him in.
Yeah. Armed robbery? Yeah.
Yeah, we believe it. We got him, boys. Let's go. Let's go celebrate.
Definitely.
We're all going to get promoted. We're all going to get promotions. We have apprehended the criminal.
Boss is going to be thrilled. We got a goat.
It's like, there's been a lot of car robberies happening lately. Have you caught the suspect? Like, yeah, dude, we got him. You see that guy in, detention block C? And then you just look over, pan over, bah. Like, that's all you see. There's nothing else.
Oh, man. So definitely one of my favorite stories. A lot of fun to imagine. A lot of blame to go all around, like vigilantes. Wait, what are you doing? Cops, you guys are literally, you're licensed. What are you doing? I feel like there should be a test to validate your saneness.
Yeah, they're licensed goat capturers.
That's what it is. But yeah, definitely one of my favorite stories. But since we covered that, let me move on to another one. This one was actually pretty wild. It's not a funny story, but I think it was pretty wild, right? So, do you have any favorite historical figures or favorite it doesn't have to be historical figures, but anyone who's passed away recently that I guess was famous that you really liked?
Yeah, I would say Kobe Bryant. He passed away recently, a year or two ago. So definitely one of my definitely my favorite basketball player of all time.
Of course.
So yeah, definitely would be somebody I guess who would classify for this question.
I don't know if this joke is too premature. I was going to say he could be considered the GOAT. Okay.
Well, I think there's not enough credit given to him. I could talk about this topic for a very long time, but
yeah,
just the one thing I would say is I just don't think he gets enough credit for, up there for being considered amongst the GOATs like LeBron or other people.
No, he 100% should be. 100% should be.
Yeah.
But anyway, so for example, if you got the shoes worn by Kobe Bryant, how much do you think they would go for on auction? How much do you think you pay for them?
It probably costs like hundreds of thousands, if not millions.
Well, that's actually quite a lot. Wow. I didn't consider that whatsoever.
Yeah, Kobe Bryant, like a lot of after he passed away, a lot of people were buying up his merch. Like there were like game worn jerseys being sold for like several hundreds of thousands of dollars.
No way, yo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look this up later. But Steve Jobs worn sandals. Can you guess how much they were auctioned for? Very recently.
I'm trying to think. These are sandals, so it's not as impressive as if it was like, I don't know, his like notebook that talked about like.
And I guess if you want a what's it called, a description of the item, well used brown suede Birkenstocks, dating to the mid 1970s. In case you're a Birkenstock expert, you may know. Okay,
I know they're a good. I know it's a good brand. Like I know it's a good brand of sandals and stuff like that. But okay, so I'm trying to think. It's not as impressive as if it was like his notebook or like stuff where he had like the idea for like the first MacBook or whatever.
Right.
Sandals worn by Steve Jobs. He's a very famous, influential person. I don't know. I want to say like what, $20K?
No. This actually set the record for the highest ever paid for a pair of sandals.
Okay, that's the caveat for a pair of sandals.
Yep. So, given that information, do you want to change your guess?
Well, I'm very confused about. I didn't know there was such a big like
sandal market.
Yeah, sandal like underground scandal. Underground sandal market. Scandal. I didn't know there was such a big underground sandal market of where people were buying used sandals.
No, it's a foot fetish thing. That's what it is.
Okay, so it's not $20K. Is it a lot higher or just like a little bit higher?
I would say it's much higher.
Oh my god. Okay. All right, let's just go big or go home. $120K.
$120K. That's good. Still off by about $100K.
What?
Yep. The sandals were expected to bring in around $60,000, but the final sale price was $218,750.
Why though?
That's what I'm thinking. What are you gonna do with a well-used pair of brown suede Birkenstocks?
And it's not like
what?
It's not like it has his name on it or anything. So like I could literally go out tomorrow, buy a pair of brown suede Birkenstocks, wear them for like a year, and just be like, oh yeah, Martin Luther King wore these. Like just randomly like attach somebody's celebrity's name on it. Like how do you authenticate that these are actually like his?
I have no idea. Apparently, it says the California house where Steve Jobs co-founded Apple is a historical site, and now the sandals he wore while pacing its floors have sold for nearly $220,000 at an auction house. So I have no idea. I guess it says the cork and jute footbed retains the imprint of Steve Jobs' what is his name?
Steve.
I told you I was going to have speech problems today.
Steve
Jobs' feet, which has been shaped after years of use. So I guess if you compare Steve's.
But how do you compare it? He's already gone.
Well, there we go.
But you're not going to dig up his grave. So how do you compare that it's actually
maybe
his?
It was already, checked out, verified, and maybe there's like a paper documentation that comes with these sandals were Steve Jobs's.
I guess.
And there you go. So that's something I found very interesting.
I just think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know what you're going to do with these, even if you're a collector. Like that, imagine you having a piece you really love in your house, of like being like super rich guy living in a giant mansion. What my most prized possession is? Right there. Oh, I have those at my house too. They're in my closet. No, but these were worn by Steve Jobs. Oh,
And they're like, how
That's
do you
cool.
know?
I have a certificate of authenticity.
It's like, you're just going to take their word for it, I guess. That those are actually his. Like, there are certain auctions that I've heard about that make sense in a way.
Yeah.
So the one example that I can think of that just comes to my mind recently is, so this past baseball season, Aaron Judge of the Yankees, he broke the record for most home runs in the American League.
Okay.
So, and this is a record that was like standing for like 60 years.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So he hit 62. The record was 61. My guess, a very educated guess, would be that ball that the fan caught, the 60-second home run ball.
Yeah.
If he were to auction that off, he would definitely get like a couple $100K.
I don't think it'd be a couple hundred, honestly. I mean, I would say like $100K range.
No. People were debating about this like on like the radio, like sports radio and stuff like that. So the Barry Bonds, when he broke the home run record in baseball, all of baseball, not just like one league, all of baseball.
Yeah.
The ball that he hit for the home run sold for like several $1 million.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm assuming this is not going to sell for as much as that, obviously, since it's not, all of baseball record. It's just one league. But I still think it'd be a couple $100K then because of that, because it's a record that's been around for like 60 years.
Yeah.
And he's also a very popular player. He's arguably like one of, if not the most popular player in all of baseball right now.
Yeah.
So it's not like some just like random person hitting it. It's like
that's true.
It's somebody who's always been in the MVP discussion a couple of seasons. So I think it depends also on like your celebrity status level, right? Like here, if these sandals were worn by like some lower ranked celebrity, and not like Steve Jobs, if it was just like, I don't know, a guy who was like an extra on a TV show, like probably not going to sell for as much. But the fact that it's Steve Jobs, they're like, oh yeah, $200K.
That's true. By the way, I looked up the most expensive shoes ever sold. Like top 10. Can you guess who was number 1?
I'm trying to think what. It's probably an athlete, obviously. No, actually, no. It's probably not. It might not be an athlete.
That is correct. It is not an athlete.
Yeah. I don't think it's an athlete. I feel like, why do I feel like it's something ridiculous? Like these are like the sandals worn by Jesus.
Those would go for billions.
Is it? I'm trying to think who would be a very famous like shoe to collect. I feel like it's probably like a pair of Jordans, like that Jordan wore. Or it's not Jordans. Okay.
Nope.
For some reason, the one name that keeps coming to my mind is Gandhi. Like Mahatma Gandhi. I don't know why I keep thinking of his name. Like it keeps coming into my mind. Because I did read that Mahatma Gandhi's like sandals or something were sold for like $1 million or something like that. Give me a hint. Give me a hint.
Rapper.
Oh, okay, rap. Oh, is it Tupac?
No, it's not Tupac.
Oh, is it Biggie?
No.
What? Okay, it's not Tupac. It's not Biggie. What? Is it alive? Is he alive?
Yes, you spent too much time on this. We don't have this much time.
Okay, my last guess would have been Jay-Z, but yeah.
It is Kanye.
Kanye.
Kanye West's Nike Air Yeezy sold for $1.8 million. Followed by...
By the way, those shoes have dropped in value so much. Those shoes are not worth anywhere close to that today. Those have
the guy who paid for it is probably quite unhappy.
Oh yeah. Okay. His investment went from like 1.9 million or whatever the number was down to probably like a couple 100,000. Like it has dropped significantly.
Oh, for sure. So that was the most expensive pair, followed by Michael Jordan's Nike Airships, 1.47 million. But I gotta say, and then there's a huge drop from there because I said that was 1.47.
Yeah.
Number 3 is 615,000. Again, Nike Air Jordan. And Nike Air Jordans are dominating this list. Number 4, also Nike Air Jordan, 560,000.
Yeah, because classic Jordans are so popular, especially if they were ever like game worn. Oh my god, those would go for like insane amounts.
Yeah. So if these sandals were on the shoe list, they would be ranked at number 5.
Oh wow. okay. So there is a very significant drop off after like the first couple.
Yeah.
Because you're going from 1.4 all the way down to 200,000.
Yeah. So it is pretty wild. So all I'm saying is, people go wild for Steve Jobs' feet for some reason.
Steve Jobs.
Steve.
Yes. As long as you can get your own name right, you should be fine.
Okay, let's hope so. All right, so Vinit.
You had to think about it for a second.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit of thinking involved. All right, so one last story I want to wind up with. This one's a very quick one. Okay, let me ask you, since it's a quick story. If you were to sneak something past the TSA, how would you do it? I don't know. I asked a pretty difficult question kind of off the bat.
I was going to say, yeah. I feel like most people would say something like, I don't know, I'd put it on my butt or something like that. Try to hide it in your body. But honestly, I don't know why my mind's just like, I feel like, is it even worth it to even try to sneak anything? Like anything that I would try to sneak would not be something that's like that significant in my life. Because most of the significant things in my life, they already let you take.
That's true.
Can I take my phone? Yes, I can. Can I take a laptop if I wanted to? Yes, I can.
That's true.
So like, there's nothing really like what can I not take? Okay, I can't take like nail clippers. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, I can always get in nail clippers. I cut my nails before I go, or if I'm going for a very long time, try to get it like at the location where I am.
But like a bottle of water, right? You can't really take that in if it's like a 16-ounce bottle.
Yeah, you can't take a regular like filled water bottle. Yeah, you could take a reusable bottle with you and then fill it up at the airport.
True. Okay,
it's just that they want to get like price gouge you. They want you to buy $16 water.
Yeah, at the airport. Yeah,
at the airport, basically.
Wild stuff. So, I don't know why we're talking about this. Do you ever see that Key and Peele sketch where they're like, "Oh, the TSA has foiled me again." Yeah. That's what it kind of reminded me of, where they're trying to they're all in a cave. They're trying to figure out how to get weapons past the TSA. Yeah. And they're like, "Oh, we can only take scissors that are like 2 inches long. But 3 inches, that would have been it. That would have destroyed everyone." So reading this article kind of reminded me of that. So this continues on the adventures of Florida Man, as you know. Last time we saw Florida Man, he was taking pictures of a bear sleeping on his porch. I don't know why he was very excited about that. But here we have security officers out South Florida have reported to have found a hidden handgun. Okay. Do you know where it was found?
I don't know, in his suitcase or in his like...
It was in his luggage. It was in his luggage, but it was packed inside something else in his luggage.
Okay, so like maybe he tried to hide it inside like, I don't know, a box or like a pair of pants. I can't pants. It would be x-rayed. So like a lead box, I guess, that's trying to like avoid x-ray scanning.
No, not even close. It was chicken. What? He put a handgun inside raw chicken.
Okay, give me a second. I just gotta process this. Why was there raw chicken in his suitcase?
I don't know. I feel like that also would have been like a red flag. But...
like, I forget the gun. I would just stop him for that. Be like, dude, what are you doing with your life that you're taking an uncooked chicken in your suitcase? And this is a carry-on, I'm guessing, because they scanned it. So this is a carry-on.
I would think so. Yeah.
I'm like, why are you carrying a raw chicken in your carry-on? Like, it's not even cooked. So it's not like you're going to eat it on the flight. Like, this is just raw chicken. So where are you heading that you think your chicken needs will not be met? That you think that wherever I'm going, they're not going to have chicken, so I need to bring my own.
No, they want to make sure the chicken is hidden. Oh, sorry, not the chicken. They want to make sure the gun is hidden inside the chicken. The chicken, I guess, is kind of a snack.
Why would that even work? What made him think that would work?
I don't know.
If they can scan you, they can also scan the chicken.
That's very true.
Or did he just think if I put it inside enough things that it would be hidden?
Maybe. Or maybe it's like, oh, it's raw chicken. No one's going to second guess that. It's just, it's just raw chicken. No, but it's just like
I think his thought process was, okay, gun inside chicken inside suitcase. Suitcase that's enough layers. I don't need any more layers of protection.
So they actually, by the way, the TSA at South Florida Airport were thrilled. They were showing off that, oh my God, we got this guy, and
because that's probably that's the only time they've ever actually caught something.
So I have a picture to share with you. Let me share my screen. They posted this on their Instagram, by the way. They got over 34,000 likes, and I guess we can share this when we do our Instagram post. But check that out. Do you see that? It is straight up a chicken inside of a bag.
It's not even well hidden.
No,
it's literally sticking out of the chicken. He didn't even try to like shove it all the way in.
No, he's just like
half the gun is sticking out of the chicken. This makes no sense.
Listen, man, he's from Florida. He tried his best. That's all we can ask for. But yeah, I thought that was a hilarious picture. He like, I don't know. I feel like it's like a small kid really trying his best, you know? Like, yeah, let me just shove it in there.
I don't even think it's a kid.
I mean, yeah, it's not. But like, I would just imagine like a young child being like, oh, I can hide this from my parents if I just put it here. But it's very obvious. And I feel like that was his thought process of, oh, I can hide this in here. They'll never catch me.
Also, I will say, based on the picture, he thought about it. He added another layer. He put a plastic bag.
Yes.
So 4 layers.
That was it.
He thought that was enough to trick the X-ray machine.
Nope. They got him. They still got him. So, and also, fun fact, according to the TSA, fresh meat, seafood, and other non-liquid food items are permitted in both carry-on and checked-in bags, as long as they're packed in ice.
What?
You're also allowed to have... I don't know. You're also allowed to have unloaded firearms in checked bags. Well, okay, but again, these are checked bags.
Yeah, this was carry-on.
Yeah, this was a carry-on. But yeah, but they must be declared at the ticket counter. But
I'm guessing you have to pay to like check in a gun, and maybe this is his way of trying to circumvent that.
I don't know. I feel like he made it worse.
Well, yeah, obviously he got arrested and he's gonna get screwed. But like, I think essentially his thought process was, I don't feel like paying $50 to declare that I have a gun, so I'm gonna hide it in a chicken, and hopefully I will be able to sneak it through. Because chicken's allowed. Like, okay, so maybe he knew that like chicken is allowed.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, chicken's allowed. They're not going to.
No one can see through that fat.
Yeah, no one's going to see. No one's going to question that there's a chicken in my bag.
Yep.
I just don't understand why he didn't think that it would also be seen, like the guns inside the chicken.
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't know how X-rays work.
I don't know, because I remember one time I was taking my backpack to the passport office.
Yeah.
And in my backpack, I had my keys. And on my keys, I have a keychain of like, I don't know, it's like a salamander that I got from like Mexico or whatever.
Yeah.
So I literally went through the X-ray. And this is like in a pocket inside another pocket. Like I just indirectly put it in there without second guessing.
Okay.
And literally I get through the X-ray and the lady turns to me. She asks me, do you have a lizard in your bag? And I'm like, what? No, because I didn't think she was asking about the keychain. I thought she meant like an actual lizard. So she's like, do you have a lizard? Like any pets in your bag? I'm like, no, why would I put a lizard in my bag? So at first I thought she was just joking. So I was like, not that I know of. Like, no, I don't have any lizards.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I see a lizard, dude. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, open your bag. I'm like, okay. I open my bag. And she's like, oh, it's the keychain. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, for a second, I was thinking like
a lizard got in my bag.
Exactly. I was thinking like a random lizard crawled into my bag or something. I'm like, what is going on? But yeah, so the X-ray machine's going to catch a lot of stuff. Like, it doesn't matter how many layers.
Lesson learned. Florida man, you've lost this one.
Yes.
But maybe he'll make a comeback one day.
I'm sure he'll be back. This is not going to be the last we hear of Florida man.
All right, so those are all the stories that I had to share with you. Looking forward to our main event later on. But before we go into that, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back. And we're back. Always nice to take a real break after taking those fake breaks the last couple of times.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about this topic. You know, like we mentioned, it's going to be our last episode before the new year. And typically around this time of the year, as we're winding down, people start working on their, say it with me, New Year's resolutions.
Christmas.
Okay, you didn't say it with me. That's fine. So, so as we start working with our New Year's resolutions, usually it's around this time that people start writing them, getting them ready, before they can, kick off the year with a start and then quit in like 10 days.
Yeah, of course.
But basically, that's what we're going to be talking about today. But before I jump into the actual topics or what I want to get to, let me ask you, do you have any New Year's resolutions?
I would say a lot of them are the same as what a normal person would have. Like, for example, I want to eat healthier, lose some weight, because it's so easy, especially this time of year, to just eat and then gain like 20 pounds, because I know I've definitely gained like 20 pounds. And of course, we started this new podcast, so I want to kind of get this growing and get some actual listeners instead of, our moms. That would be great.
yeah, exactly. We have 2 loyal listeners, but we want to increase that number to more. I would say more than 2 if we count ourselves. But outside of that, we should increase that base. So yeah, I would say for me, it's relatively similar. Grow the podcast, also grow my YouTube channel, things like that. Of course, like most people, want to get healthier, lose some weight, eat healthier food, things like that. But I think those are just they're too common. Those resolutions are just, everyone does them, right?
Yeah.
It's boring. It's vanilla. Why not do something different? Why not come up with something new, exciting, something that you can actually, say to people and be like, oh, wow, I never thought of that. Or, oh, wow, that's such a cool resolution. Things like that. So what I have for us today is a couple of ideas. I went online, tried to look up different resolutions that people have, and I came across a couple of lists that talked about resolutions, and I liked them because they were very unique. So
what do you got?
I wanted to go through them, just give people some ideas on what could be possible resolutions.
Right.
The first one is, I will pick fewer internet fights.
What does that mean? Picking as in like, oh, I want to watch this one, I want to watch this one? Or is it like, I'm picking a fight with this guy?
Yeah, I think it's more the latter, where they're basically saying like, I want to stop arguing with people on the internet. I don't know why that's a resolution. Like, I feel like you should be able to do that without making that your resolution.
Yeah, just don't comment things online.
By the way, I did say these are ideas. The one thing I will say is I don't know how great of ideas they are.
Fair enough.
The second one is I vow to communicate exclusively in memes. So what I will say is you will also be writing your resignation letter in memes. Because your company will probably fire you for doing that.
100%. I feel like if you come up with a New Year's resolution of, I will talk specifically or communicate specifically in memes, you already don't have a job. I mean, let's be real.
That is also true. That is true. Another one that we see here is, I will be unashamed about the fact that I'm wearing pajamas in public. Again, 2 things. One, I would not recommend doing that just because, it's not the greatest look.
Yeah.
Or 2, if you are going to do it, just be confident. You don't need to worry. Well, first of all, if I'm in like Walmart or Target or whatever, and someone walks by me like wearing pajamas, I don't care.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I'm not here for you. I'm here to get my stuff and get out. Like, this is not like,
I have my own problems to worry
exactly. Like,
about.
I'm not here to see like you do like a fashion show for me, right? Like, I'm not here to worry about what you're wearing. I could care less. Like, I got my own stuff. Like, you are not the main character. Like, you are just somebody else in my life. That I gotta
say though, for the longest time, I was also very like, I mean, I still do. I feel like it's still weird for me to go out and wear pajamas. I feel like people are going to judge me, but you're right. No one cares.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, absolutely no one cares.
What I say is like, I don't do it because of the same reason. I think it's just society tells us like it's bad, don't do it, whatever. But like, I will say 9 times out of 10, I've realized even if you say hi to somebody in the grocery store, right? They will remember you for 30 seconds. Yeah. As soon as they walk away from that conversation, you are no longer in their life. You are no longer in their memory. They do not care. So it doesn't matter what you were wearing. Unless it's somebody like who you like, for example, are trying to ask out on a date. Like, they'll remember you because like you're trying to plan like another meeting. But if it's just like a random person that you're like, oh, excuse me, can I grab like, I don't know, the canned corn next to you? They don't care that you're wearing pajamas.
Oh yeah, not at all. So thinking back now, I'm like, do I even remember anyone wearing pajamas? Like, I definitely know it's happened. I don't remember a single person though And like, even if it did happen, it's not like they know your name. They're not gonna go online and be
exactly.
like, "Oh, he's the guy that wore pajamas at Walmart."
Exactly. Like I remember one lady just because I saw her yesterday when I was at like the grocery store.
Yeah.
But like I guarantee you ask me a week from now, I'm probably not gonna remember.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like it'll be completely out of my mind. So it's like nobody cares. So it's wear your pajamas. Nobody cares.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to some of the other ones.
Though.
Yeah, but these are just like very simple resolutions. The next one that I've seen is okay. I was very kind of I wouldn't say triggered, but I was very confused.
Okay.
It was I will start washing my hands after I use the restroom. I feel like you should already be doing that. Like this is not something that should be a resolution. The other thing I would say, which is the part that makes me really upset, which is where I said I might be triggered, is this is not like an article that's from like 2016.
Uh-huh.
Right. This is not like, pre-pandemic life that we don't care or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
This was written in September of this year.
Man,
like you should know by now. Wash your hands. I
mean, seriously, like I'm not gonna lie. While COVID was not great, it has really taught me to wash my hands all the time.
Yeah, like I'm definitely 100% more hygienic now in terms of just like making sure I wash my hands regularly, making sure I use hand sanitizer a lot, things like that. The other ones are a little bit more funny. So the second one was stop drinking orange juice after I brushed my teeth. Again,
always rough.
Again, I don't think this needs to be a resolution. I feel like this is something you could just do. Just don't do it.
Maybe it's made it into like a habit, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna drink some orange juice to just brush my teeth. Oh, I forgot. I don't know. Maybe just something he just never realizes, but he just does.
Okay, but then what about number 3? Stop licking frozen flagpoles.
This guy's just a moron. I don't.
You went so quick from giving him the benefit of the doubt to immediately being like, "This guy's an idiot."
Who does that? Why? You said like, frozen flagpoles?
Yeah, like okay. So basically, I essentially at this point, I think everyone has realized that this is not supposed to be like a genuine list of proper resolutions. Like this person's trying to be funny, trying to be sarcastic. But still, like, why was that one of the ones that they thought of?
Wait, so let me ask you about this article. So, for this article, is this one person coming up with resolutions, or is this like compiled from like weirdest resolutions?
No. This is just like one person who wrote this article, and they're saying like these are my resolutions. These are obviously like all like satirical. They're trying to be funny. It's just that these are the ones that they came up with. They've done different categories. So these are their so-called quote unquote realistic resolutions. Realistic is very, very satirical in this sense. It's not really realistic. Because like some of them are like, I'll only eat white snow.
I mean, I guess that's good.
I will only get divorced and remarried once this year. Then there's another section called technology-related resolutions, where they said, I will watch more cute and cuddly kitten videos on YouTube. I will switch my username to password and my password to username to make things a lot harder for hackers to figure out.
Yeah, it seems like I'm kind of curious now, like who wrote this article? Like, what? Do they have absolutely nothing else to do? They're like, you know what? The second something comes into my brain, I'm going to write it down. Oh, I see a water bottle. I'm no longer going to use my water bottle to pee in. Like, what? That's what it seems like happened with this guy's article.
Essentially, he's trying to write like a funny, jokey blog type thing, right? And he's trying to be funny, trying to make people laugh. In a way, I think he's succeeding. Whether it's people are laughing with him or laughing at him, it's completely different. Yeah. But he succeeded. He did make us laugh, right? So I guess in a way, he did succeed in getting to do what he wanted to do.
I would say it was more of our commentary of back and forth that made us laugh versus the weirdness of this guy's resolutions.
True.
Also, who has this many resolutions?
Oh, there's a lot. There's in total there's 40 on this.
Jesus.
Okay. Here's one. So see, he also had some suggestions for weight loss. Right? We both said we're trying to lose weight. So
yes. What do you got?
So the first one is I will lose weight by hiding it somewhere you'll never find it. Okay, well, if you don't like that one, how about number 4? I will start smoking to lose weight. So basically, it's like this. Hey, are you overweight? Well, do we have a new product for you? Why don't you try smoking crack?
I remember reading somewhere that back in the day, doctors used to recommend smoking for like issues that people had. Is that true? Do you know if that's true?
It was. So they did it for I think they did it for anxiety. They did it for a couple of other things. But again, that was back in the day before we knew any better.
Well, this guy clearly does not know any better. That's what it seems like.
Another one said, I will lose weight by stop buttering my donuts.
Sounds good.
I will eat more fruit.
That seems normal.
Well, ... snacks.
Oh man.
Fruit snacks.
I was going to be so proud of him for a minute. I was like, all right, he did it.
No. I will lose weight by living on the moon. I will lose weight by inventing an anti-gravity machine.
Wow. This guy really tried his best to come up with anything that he possibly could say.
I will say. The first comment on this.
Yeah. We have a comment section, Hortus?
There is a comment section.
Oh, I feel like we should have been reading the comment section this whole time.
Well, I wanted to set you up on what he was reading, right? So,
okay.
Comment section. First comment. My New Year's resolution is read actual humor.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Some people tried to follow his format where someone said, I'm going to get an angry whopper and try to get it to calm down. Let's see, what else? My New Year's resolution is to stop using Botox so my spouse can wake up to the real me.
I guess that's kind of funny.
How would you say it? If you already used Botox, there's no more real you. There's no going back.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was one article. The other thing I wanted to do is also just see what people on Reddit were saying, right? People are Reddit. So there's a lot of people on Reddit asking either their followers or just regular forums, hey, do you guys have any New Year's resolutions? I don't really partake in the tradition myself, but I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a very how do I say it? It's a very innocent or very just really nice resolution that this person wrote. Where they basically said, I'm a big fan of candles. I'm not sure if I'm going to buy a bunch of candles, but I'm going to try some new ones.
Okay.
It's a very wholesome New Year's resolution.
Yeah, it's a bit strange, a bit different, I would say. But yeah, I mean, it's clean, wholesome, family friendly. Yeah. I'm all for it.
Somebody else said, I'm just pretty much always up for a new year of adventuring.
Okay.
That's fun. It's nice. Someone else wrote, this is more on the comedy side, where they said, my New Year's resolution for this past year was, this is what I've accomplished so far with my New Year's resolution so far, basically. 312 days without arson.
I guess that's good. It's like those places that have days without accident. 312.
Yeah, so that's basically what their idea was, without arson. So these are just some of the New Year's resolutions that I came across. And I wanted to share with people. Hopefully this gave you some ideas on, what you can write for your New Year's resolutions going forward. Get more creative so you're not just saying the same bland old New Year's resolutions every time.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody asks you, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to work out, blah, blah, blah. No. Why don't you say, I'm trying not to commit arson?
Mm-hmm. Trying to buy some new candles.
Exactly.
Try something new.
I'm trying to expand my candle stash.
Mm-hmm.
Things like
unique
that.
Resolutions. Yep.
But with that being said, that pretty much brings us to the end of today's episode. I think we had a really exciting, jam-packed episode. We had some great headlines to start off with. We heard about this grand goat theft auto, and then we heard about the TSA doing an excellent job keeping us all safe.
Raw chicken.
By discovering these raw chickens that are hidden with weapons. Tomorrow we're going to hear about a chicken that's, being stocked with a hand grenade. Or things like that. And then, of course, we also had the auction of Steve Jobs' sandals, or as Vineet says it, Steve.
So
with that being said, this has been Sometime, Someday, with some news. See you soon.